episode 1 because the previous episode was the prequel. You might notice that my voice sounds a little bit different from that episode to this, and I'll explain that in a moment. So what's the mission for today? Today, we're setting up some exhaust. Move, buddy. Now, this is the mid-pipe from a MBRP cat back street. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and wrapped it. And the reason I've done that is twofold. This is going to keep heat out from the underbody of the car, and obviously the downpipe's going to get the same treatment, but we'll get to that. And it also keeps the exhaust velocity high. And I'm not a physicist, I don't know why it works, but my understanding is when you wrap your exhaust, it increases the exhaust velocity, and it also assists with scavenging. And that's what you want. And if you want to look up what scavenging is, go ahead, let me know. I just know it by name. I know it's good. So let's talk about why my voice sounds different. This is a downpipe for a 2015 to, I assume, 2018, possibly 2023 Ecoboost Ford Mustang. This was ordered on the 10th of August, 2023, and the shipper, Amazon, used UPS. UPS is a package company, and they deliver packages. Their one function in life is to take packages from A, pick them up in their little hands, and then carry them to B. This was supposed to arrive on, I believe, the 15th of August. That's pretty good. 3-inch. Okay, well, it's probably okay material. So anyway, this was supposed to arrive on around the 15th of August. It's the 18th now. Actually, no, I think it was the 12th that was supposed to arrive. Yeah, it was the 12th, actually. And here's what happened. Every day, the UPS driver, whose one job is to take packages from A and hand them to B, couldn't figure out in his fucking noggin how to walk out of his truck and deliver this goddamn downpipe to a fucking UPS store. Not my house, not a gated condo, no maze, no centaur, no Medusa. He just had to get out of his truck and walk it to a UPS store. And every day, 2 p.m., he would mark that the UPS store was closed. And you know what? It was open. I know it was open because I called the fucking UPS store and asked them if they were open. But anyway, several hours on the phone yelling at the Philippines. And I mean yelling enough to scare the neighbors and make my cat hide. I got my fucking downpipe and we're gonna wrap it today. UPS is fucking retarded. That's my rant. My voice is destroyed. It's probably never gonna be the same. I sound like a Jewish grandma. So anyway, what we're gonna do, we're gonna wrap this so it matches the other piece. I might join up with you when that process is done, or I might time-lapse this. I'm not sure which. We're going to find out. I'm going to have to switch to a wider lens anyway. See you on the other side. And fuck UPS for dragging this out to a Friday when I should have gotten it on a fucking Tuesday. That's a little bit better. So how do we wrap this stuff? What do we wrap it with? So typically when you wrap an exhaust, you want to use a fiberglass or basalt wrap. You can find it on Amazon. It's pretty inexpensive. The instructions always say to soak it first for a little while, and I think it's partially just to keep that dust down and that fiberglass spiky stuff down, because let me tell you, if you handle this dry, you're going to be itchy until like 2 weeks from now. So you really, really should not be handling this stuff without gloves and not doing it dry, unless you have like a weird masochism thing. All right, so I'm just going to start off up top, giving myself enough room to make sure that this comes back. So we're probably going to start the wrap on this side of that weld. And for the first turn, I'm just going to run that around like so. Make sure it's nice and snugged up. Like so. Like so. Then we're going to go back over here. I'm going to apply a band. These are a bit of a pain in the ass and they're kind of fiddly. You'll screw it up a few times, don't worry about it. Gonna apply that, make sure it's nice and tight. Do a little snake bite on this to make sure it's tight too. Like so. Gonna find me my pliers and we're gonna roll that tight. I think you'll do. Rolling it downwards like so until it gets real nice and tight. Okay, there we are. So that's not, well, I'm going to say the whitest thing ever. That's not going anywhere. Now what we're going to do is we're going to proceed around with this. And I'm just going to cut a bunch of this. Holy crap, I'm getting itchy just looking at this stuff. Okay, so I think I've got enough carved out. And we're going to apply it straight, because doing it off the roll is a bit of a pain in the butt. And now, it's a very simple thing. We're just going to go ahead and wrap this around. Happy little wraps. Next time ship with FedEx, because UPS is a bunch of cunts. They don't know how to do their fucking job. And they may actually be on strike right now to get more pay so they can do their job poorly, but be more financially secure doing so. Alright, now once we've reached this first bend, I'm going to apply another band here, just so we have reasonable securement in sections. Okay? Alright. And if you're OCD like me, you'd probably prefer to have all the bands facing the same direction. But if you're scatterbrained like me, you'll screw it up at least once. And in doing so, they will face different directions, just like this one. There we go. Nice and tight. Good. And then we're just going to continue to wrap all the way down. So I will show you when this is done. A thing of beauty. So again, this should marginally, and I say marginally because it's a very small percent, assist with exhaust scavenging. But most importantly, I think what this is going to do is this is going to keep heat out of the engine bay, which will increase the longevity of the components that are sitting in the engine bay, which is great. This is a very high-strung turbo car, and heat is the death of everything. It's the death of the universe. It's the death of your coil packs, potentially your injectors, sensors, and so on and so forth. So this is a lovingly wrapped downpipe that UPS almost ruined. If I haven't mentioned it, don't use UPS. As far as I'm concerned, they crawled out of the primordial ooze and existed for hundreds of millions of years just to fuck up my order. I don't think they had any other purpose in life. Have a great night. And stay tuned for episode 2, where we'll probably install these and see how the car sounds. And then I've got a bunch of other stuff coming as well. I had to space out the recording. I was going to do this and the install on one. But the reality is, with the way UPS is doing things, I have another 10 packages in the air with them. It's going to take until next August before I get it all. So I got to space this out. Have a great evening.